Hey guys, this is Dread. I'm back with another video, and today I want to go over the different meta cancels we have in Yōtei, just to get ready for Yōtei Legends coming out next year. And we're going to go over pretty much everything we know. The game has been out for about a month now, so we're going to go through all the good ones, all the bad ones, all the great ones, and kind of see how they work in Showcase. So to start, we have the dash attack and the dash cancel. Now, the inputs for the dash attack for the legacy, or the one that we used in Tsushima, L3 plus square, and then you tap ghost weapon, and then you cycle through and repeat the L3 plus square. As you can see on the screen here, my ghost weapon menu is coming up in between the dash attack cancel, so that's how you know you're doing it right. You can get the timing just about right from decent practice. Gotta be careful because sometimes you can mash the ghost weapons and activate it, and then that just kind of interrupts the cancel itself. Now, Yōtei style is different. You start with L3 plus square, and then you cycle circle, square, circle, square. So you just slide your finger across, tap circle and square, and then that will let you do the Yōtei cancel. Now this one is faster than the Tsushima, the legacy one, but you only go in a straight line, so you can't change your direction, control where you're going. So that's something to keep in mind. Now this tends to be a little bit faster, but then the fastest one is just the dash cancel, so you actually do the circle square faster before the actual attack animation hits, and then you zip across the map quicker than when you actually let the cancel hit. So it's good to distinguish between the two. You have the dash cancel where you're just dashing, and the other one we actually attacking. Now I'm going to go over and just showcase how this cancel works for the different weapons. And again, in Yōtei, what's different from Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima, is that we have the different weapons instead of different stances. And in Tsushima, the different stances had a consistent baseline, so your dashes and your light attacks were all similar in the sense that your dash attack cancel was identical across all weapons, and your light attack cancel was the same across all weapons. Now this is not the case for Yōtei because you have 5 different weapons that all have different speeds, different moves, different animations, and different frames for which you can actually execute your cancels. So I won't talk too much over this part of the video, but I'm just going to showcase how all the different dash attack cancels with the legacy inputs, and then of course with the Yōtei inputs, and then just the Yōtei dash cancel. So I'll just let that marinate for a bit, and then we'll discuss the next cancel. Now the Yari is interesting in that it actually has 2 dash attack cancels. The one I'm doing right now is the Yōtei style, which is circle square, circle square. This is with the jumping light attack. So she does a little lunge, a little pokey jump. And it's not that fast, it's not that effective, but it's there. The actual useful one that you might want to learn is going to be with the triangle. So there's a move that Atsu does where if you dash forward and press triangle, you get the little circle spin move, reminiscent of Moonmaster cancel. Not even Moonmaster cancel, but the actual Moonmaster spin. And then she just rotates with the Yari. So that's the one that you want to learn if you're gonna do dash attack cancel with the Yari. Reason being, if you actually go ahead and do the dash cancel, this is about a little bit slower than the Kusarigama. So this is probably the second fastest dash cancel that we have in game. So something to keep in mind, and then you can kind of zip through the map with that cancel. But yeah, this is a cool thing about the Yari. It's the only one that actually has 2 dash attack cancels, which is interesting. So light attack cancels. In Yōtei, it's interesting in the sense that each weapon has its own light attack strings, and within those strings, in most cases, the final attack tends to be slow and showy. So if you actually, as I'm showcasing here, if you cycle and just swipe your thumb, circle triangle, you can cancel any light attack string at any point, and then repeat, however many attacks that you want. So for example, the dual katana, the light attacks, you have 5 attacks in total. The last 2 are slow. There's a little bit pause after the third one, and then it triggers the last 2. So if you do square, 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 and then you dash circle into square, you cancel out and start all over. So that lets you just keep repeating those first 3 light attacks. Now this tends to be the fastest light attack in the game once you get the spam right, and you can just go to town. Now I'll showcase it clearly in the next video, but what I'm basically doing here is I'm standing on the rock in order to get a better representation of how fast the attack is when you're actually attacking an enemy. You can test it out for yourself, but when you're standing in a single spot and you're doing your light attack cancels, you can actually get a good sense for the speed. So yeah, for the katana, base attack string is 3 hits. Final swing, she does this upward, from an upward position, downward slash. You can just skip that and just do the first 2. So you can just cancel and just cancel after the first 2 attacks. So square, square, and then circle, square. You swipe your finger and then you reset. Dual katana, again, it has 5 attacks in the light attack string, and then you just want to skip after the third one. That's when you optimize your actual speed. You can actually cancel after the second one, you can cancel after the fourth one, but usually now you're making the inputs a little bit harder because you have to swipe, circle, square more frequently. Or with the fourth one, you're doing it later, and that fourth attack tends to be slower, so you're just making yourself slower. So yeah, with this cancel, you don't want to do the dash into the 2 attacks. The reason is the dash is actually slower than just the default light attack. So when you start using this, just avoid inputting the dash. Although it looks cooler, it's not as good, so you just want to avoid that. But yeah, I mean, that's probably one of my favorite cancels. I think it's cool. I think it might be useful in Legends depending on how they incorporate melee. But I imagine, after you inflict stagger, if you can get the light attacks in with some sort of status effect, you can really deal some insane damage. Now with the Kusarigama, you want to skip that attack after she twirls her weapon and then does an overhead downward slash. So you skip that and just do the first 3, and then you can just keep repeating that. So those are probably going to be the most effective way to do light attack attacks in Ghost of Yōtei Legends when that comes out. Again, I think for the Yari, you have 3 attacks. The last one is a little stompy attack. That one is slow, so you can just skip that and just do the 2. And then she would just go crazy and just stab very, very quickly. So I think this is probably one of the better cancels too, because once she starts stabbing with Yari, she goes crazy. She goes to town. So I think this is another good one to keep in mind. Now for the Odachi, you actually have, I believe, 4 attacks, and the last 2 are just slow because she goes for the overhead swings, and it is a big weapon. She struggles a little bit. But yeah, you just want to cancel after the first 2, so where she's doing upward attacks instead of downward ones, and then she can just go crazy with those. They're a little bit quicker than the others, so again, that's basically it. Now the heavy attack cancel follows a similar process. Tap triangle and then swipe circle triangle to skip the 1 attack. Now this is what's interesting about this heavy attack cancel. All the heavy attack strings, you can kind of repeat this cancel and eliminate as many attacks as you want. So if a heavy attack has 3 attacks in it for a specific weapon, you can skip the first one, you can skip the second one, and just use the third one. But this one is more for gimmick, because you're just skipping. You're not going to get any sort of extra damage or any sort of advantages from skipping those first attacks. This is more of a gimmick. It looks cool. Let's just show off your mastery in the game. But yeah, and it's the same concept when you start going into the charged heavies. Instead of tapping triangle, you're going to hold triangle, and you can pretty much do the same thing. So I showcased the different weapons doing the actual heavy attack skip in the following clip and the next one. So yeah, I'll just let that one marinate as well. Now, Kusarigama MMC, since the Kusarigama charged heavy attack is based on the same animation as Moonmaster, the cancel is basically the same, but the difference is that Sucker Punch, in order to patch MMC like cancel for Yōtei, they delayed the second attack on the string such that it hits at the end of the animation. So what you end up doing when you cancel this, you just cancel the second hit, you don't get the first and third, which are not that good, so I wouldn't recommend. Now, the Typhoon cancel into the instant Iai is probably the most OP in terms of cancel and exploits in Yōtei. Now, the reason being is the Typhoon kick has a long wind-up charge that, you know, when you do the cancel correctly, and the cancel basically is holding the Typhoon kick, waiting until Atsu kind of twirls her weapon and then doing a little, you can either do the circle triangle attack, or you can just do circle and tap triangle to cancel it. But once you do it, you basically cancel out the animation, and there's an interesting relationship between this and the katana, because the katana, which has the Iai lightning storm, which is a moveset that, you know, you have to time it. So you stow away your katana, you wait for the glint, and then you attack. And then when you attack, you got to time the attacks in such a way that you can repeatedly execute the special move. Now, it's cool and it's great in the sense that this move interrupts attacks. So if an enemy is doing a blue glint or red glint, it'll just ignore, and then you will just freaking go crazy and beat them up. But you don't have any other special properties besides that. It's really strong. And in the sense that it can interrupt both blue and red glint attacks, is probably better than MMC, but it doesn't have the benefit of the super armor that MMC would have in Tsushima, and it can't hit multiple enemies at the same time. But it's really, really strong. It's probably the best melee cancel in this game in terms of damage output. But we'll see how, you know, how it's incorporated, how, you know, weapons are incorporated into Yōtei Legends, if it'll be, you know, relevant, or if it'll be something that's difficult to obtain, if it's, you know, gated behind the gear, or, you know, if Sucker Punch actually, you know, pay close attention and then just patch it to remove it. But yeah, both the Typhoon kick cancel and the Iai cancel will be insane in the sense that Typhoon kick is just going to be insane movement. You're going to be zipping across the map like quite ridiculously, and in terms of actual Legends gameplay, it is going to be busted, because if Legends is designed the same way that it is right now, where you have multiple zones, if you can get to zones fast, you can deal damage faster, and that's going to be ridiculous. So we'll see how, you know, if it's patched away and removed from the game, we'll see how that happens. We'll see how Legends is designed. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I'd say this is probably your strongest cancels and exploits in the game right now. Especially the Iai cancel, because you just remove the timer completely and you can just spam it on enemies. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how Legends develops and implements melee, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will go over other cancels and techs as we discover them, but for now, that's about it. Cheers.